What's going on, everyone? As you can tell from the title of this video, today I'm going to be replacing the water pump on my 2008 Saab 9.3 Turbo X. Now, I've had a coolant leak with this car the past couple of months, honestly. It started with replacing a few gaskets. I'll link that video up here in the top corner, and then it went away for a couple weeks, and then it came back. And quite frankly, since I've had the ARC back on the road, I've kind of been lazy with fixing this. But now I finally have a new water pump. I finally have the gasket, the screws, everything that I need to replace the water pump. So I'm going to be doing that today. And I'm realizing that as time draws closer to SOC, I really have to fix this car if I plan on making the 2,000-mile road trip, round trip, to Colorado and back. Because if not, this piece of crap is going to be what I'm taking, and I would much rather take this car. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to pull the car into this middle spot here where I'm standing, so that way I have more room to work on it. We'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully, since I've torn that side of the engine bay apart so many times, I can get this done in not an excessive amount of time, and hopefully I can be pretty quick with this, but I guess we'll see. So let's get this over here. See, it's still dripping out, clearly coming from the passenger side of the car. So to get all this started, we're going to need to take off the intake and the air box. Next thing we're going to do is disconnect this motor mount here. So you have 3 bolts right here, and then 3, I believe they're E14s right here. Now, before you do that, of course, you're going to want to make sure the engine is not necessarily jacked up, but at least has something helping support the weight. So I'm going to put some wood under here to make sure that the weight of the engine is being supported and it doesn't put extra strain on the other motor mounts. Now time for this bracket right here. You have 3 bolts, one right here in the middle, one over here, and then one stuck behind all these AC lines over here. So here lies the supposed culprit. So before we take the belt off, I'm going to loosen the 4 bolts on this pulley. These are 10mm, just because with the belt on here, it's going to make it a lot easier to do because the pulley's not going to want to move back and forth. So I'm going to get these loose, then we'll use the breaker bar or whatever to get the tension off and get the belt off. Okay, so they're all broken loose. They were honestly not on there as tight as I thought they would be. They were pretty easy to break loose. So now we're going to get the tension off the belt and then slip the belt off the water pump. Alright, belt is off the water pump. So we're going to go ahead and get those 4 10mm off the rest of the way so the pulley is off. Nice part about this is now it's loose, I can rotate it, so it's easy to get to all of them. They're actually hand loose now. Don't even need the ratchet. So there's a view of our water pump, and good sign, I think. You can see coolant is collected right around where these 2 nuts are. So I'm hoping that the gasket failed like right around there, and that is the problem. But yeah, now it's going to be time to get all these bolts off. They look like 10mm, and we'll be good to get coolant everywhere. Just to give you guys a visualization, this is the new water pump here from AC Delco. There are 6 10mm that go around the outside. That's what I'm going to be taking off now. Just given the location of it, it's kind of hard to get a good filming angle on it. There we go. Slowly leaking out. Word to the wise, I would advise doing the bottom 3 first, so that way they're not all slippery and hot and gross when you go to do them. So I left the top 3, but yeah, as you can see, top 3 are still in, and it's already draining a ton of coolant. Here we go. Oi. Alright, so old water pump is off. Now I guess it's time to scrape off this old gasket here. And then we'll go from there. Get the new water pump on. Alright, so now that we're ready to put the new water pump on, I do want to mention a couple things. For the gasket, if you order this water pump off of Amazon, like I did, it's an AC Delco water pump, good brand and everything, right? But it comes with this crappy paper gasket. So do not use this gasket. You want to make sure that you get the right gasket. I'll leave the part number on the screen right here for this gasket. This is like a stainless steel and rubber gasket. It's not paper like this one. And your new water pump should also come with 6 bolts, so make sure you use these new bolts instead of reusing the old ones, because for some reason, I'm sure someone knows, you're not supposed to use these old ones or the old ones again. Let's get this old gasket off. So now I'm going to clean off that surface and make sure it's all smooth before I put the new gasket and water pump on. So a quick update, I've been working at that for quite some time now. It's actually probably been the longest part of the job so far. I'm almost done, as you can tell, so we're almost ready to get the new gasket and water pump on there. So here is how the new gasket is oriented. This is the top up here, so if you want to stop the video and pause it because it's slightly different, it's a little bit confusing to get it lined up. But now I'm going to put some gasket maker around here and put it onto the car. So there we go, new water pump is in. I ended up putting gasket maker on both sides just to be safe. And then the 6 new bolts right here, tighten them down in a star pattern. So pretty simple, really not that difficult actually. So now we're gonna put this pulley back on here and we'll be ready to get the belt back on the pulley. Look guys, I gotta say, at the risk of completely jinxing myself, this has been a surprisingly easy job. Now it's time to get the bracket back onto the side of the motor, and then we'll put the motor mount back on, intake on, and then we're gonna be done. So everything is back together minus the air filter. I'm leaving that off for now just in case. I can see a little bit in there with it off, so I'll just leave it off for now. But the car is filled up with coolant. I also went ahead and took off the under tray for the bumper just for a little bit of extra room, or I guess visibility, I guess. So let's go ahead, start her up, and pray that she doesn't leak so I can take this car to Colorado. Down to where it should be now. There's a little bit of residue back there. That's from when I filled it up with coolant. A little bit, of course, spilled out. So anything back there, not concerned about, that's just from what I spilled. So because of where this bracket is, it's literally like right in front of the water pump. I can't see the water pump at all, but I can tell you that everything looks perfectly good so far. So there you have it, guys. That is how you replace the water pump on a 2008 Saab 9.3 Turbo X or any Saab 9.3 with the V6 motor. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Hopefully this car will stop leaking now, and I can actually take it to Saab Owners Convention later this month because I really want to. I'd much rather take this than this, but honestly I think I'm going to have to end up taking this just because this scares me. But with that being said, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.